Do you remember the feeling? That jolt of excitement on a Friday night or a long Saturday afternoon when someone said, "Let's go to the mall." Before the internet gave us the world at our fingertips, the shopping mall was our world. It was more than just a collection of stores under one roof. It was a shimmering, air-conditioned cathedral of American culture, a self-contained universe of sights, sounds, and smells that defined a generation. It was the backdrop to our youth, the place where we learned about style, music, friendship, and freedom. Today, let's take a walk back in time, through those heavy glass doors, and remember what it truly felt like to spend a day at the mall in the 1980s. The experience began the moment you stepped inside. You were hit by a wave of perfectly cool air and a unique symphony of sounds. The gentle murmur of 100 conversations, the distant splash of the central fountain, and woven through it all, the pulsing beat of pop music echoing from speakers overhead. This wasn't just background noise. It was the soundtrack to our adolescence, a non-stop playlist of Madonna, Michael Jackson, and Duran Duran. The lights were bright, reflecting off the polished linoleum floors. Neon signs for stores like Sam Goody and The Gap glowed in vibrant pinks and electric blues, promising a world of cool possibilities. And at the heart of it all, there was always the fountain. It was a massive, splashing centerpiece where we all instinctively agreed to meet, tossing pennies in and making wishes, watching the water dance under the skylights. For teenagers, the mall was our social network. Being dropped off by your parents was a rite of passage, a declaration of independence. You weren't there to shop, not really. You were there to be. The main activity was simply walking, endless looping circuits around the entire mall. You'd walk with your friends, your big hair held firmly in place by a cloud of aqua net, your Swatch watch on your wrist, and your jeans perfectly pegged at the ankle. Every loop was a performance. You were there to see everyone, and more importantly, to be seen by everyone, especially that one person you had a crush on from your science class. A casual hello exchanged near the Orange Julius could sustain you for a week. This was where friendships were forged, where gossip spread faster than any wildfire, and where you figured out who you wanted to be, one lap at a time. Each store was a portal to a different world. You had the record store, like Sam Goody or Tower Records, with its walls of vinyl albums and long racks of cassette tapes. You could spend an hour just flipping through the cassettes, admiring the cover art, trying to decide what to spend your allowance on. Then there was the arcade, a dark, noisy cave filled with the hypnotic sounds of Pac-Man, Donkey Kong, and Galaga. It was a place of fierce competition, where getting the high score made you a temporary king. You'd find stores like Spencer's Gifts, a strange emporium of gag gifts, blacklight posters, and lava lamps that felt slightly rebellious and grown up. And there was the quiet refuge of the bookstore, either a Walden Books or a B. Dalton, where you could get lost in the aisles and the unique smell of paper and ink to Woolworth. Of course, no trip to the mall was complete without a pilgrimage to the food court. This was the vibrant, chaotic heart of the mall's social life. The air was thick with a glorious combination of smells. The sweet citrus of an Orange Julius, the greasy perfection of a Sparrow pizza slice, and the warm cinnamon sugar haze wafting from a Cinnabon. You'd gather with your friends at one of the small plastic tables, your trays loaded with food that felt like a decadent treat. The food court was where you refueled, where you dissected every social interaction of the day, and where you planned your next move. It wasn't about gourmet dining. It was about the shared experience, the laughter, and the simple joy of a hot pretzel and a cold soda. As the afternoon faded and the fluorescent lights seemed to grow even brighter, You knew your time in this self-contained paradise was coming to an end. You'd head to the designated pickup spot, waiting for your parents' station wagon to pull up to the curb. Leaving the mall felt like re-entering the real world. The magic faded as the automatic door slid shut behind you, replaced by the warm evening air. But the feeling stayed with you. The mall in the 1980s wasn't just about consumerism. It was about community. It was about connection. It was the safe, sprawling, and wonderfully predictable stage upon which we lived out our teenage years. A time capsule of a simpler, more face-to-face world we can never truly get back to, but will always remember. That feeling is a memory so many of us share. What was the one store at your local mall that you absolutely had to visit every single time? Was it the arcade, the record store, or somewhere else entirely? We would love to read your stories in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this trip back to the mall, please give it a like and subscribe for more journeys down memory lane.